Welcome to Two Jays in a Pod. I am Johnny.
And I am Jason Alvarado. We bring you into our conversations, hot takes, and a little bit of friendly disagreements.
We are talking about everyday life, current affairs, or anything else on our mind. We are here to dive into debates and agree to disagree. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the banter. What up, Jason?
Yeah, buddy. What's going on, man?
All right. And this podcast is brought to you by
All Sports Mouth Guards. We're here recording at All Sports Mouth Guards. This is where we record our podcast. That's my company. So I just want to give a quick shout out. And if you guys need any mouth guards, clear retainers, whitening trays, we got you here, and we got them at a really good price, Johnny.
Yes, you do. 5-finger discount. Oh, sorry, that's just sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Try it.
What up, Jason? So I'm just going to do a little bit of a recap of what we're going to talk about. I guess I'm bringing the subject of child support and divorce, which a lot of people don't want to talk about and face reality. I think you're talking about extreme ownership.
Yes.
And then the next segment, comedy shows, stand-ups, concerts, movies, anything that you have done or seen lately. And then last but not least, maybe some Q&As or another topic.
Yeah, I want to go over some of the comments that we got from our last video.
And the trolling too.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But anyways, so how was your week, man?
It's been good. It's been busy. I feel like I've been not getting enough sleep, that's for sure.
Oh, I know. That's why I wear glasses. I've been only getting only like 1 hour and a half of sleep. Yeah, remember last week?
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
I
I've
was
been
gonna
sleeping. My sleep's been off again, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Johnny will be texting me and sending me stuff at 3, 4 in the morning.
Shut up, Jason. That's personal.
Nah, people get to know. People get to know your dysfunction.
Right. So, okay, Jason, a topic that I want to bring up today is divorce and child support. What do you think about that?
I think, it's something tough, right? I feel like people go through that. And once again, we talk about like these things that happen in your life where it could go both ways. Are you either going to learn and grow from this difficult situation, or are you just going to self-sabotage and end up in a worse place, right?
Yeah, ni al peor enemigo I wish upon it to my worst enemies. Not to my worst whatever.
Yeah.
Right now I'm a little bit under the weather again. Still haven't recovered.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's a difficult time. And if somebody is going through that, I think that just day by day, getting through, the different situations. I know like with divorce that it changes people, right? Like you think you know somebody and then you go through divorce and
that's when you really know them.
Yeah, that's when there's somebody that you didn't know. That's a surprise personality that comes out.
Well, I have some interesting facts. According to USA Today, breaking down percentage of marriages that end in divorce can be very tricky as the numbers can vary. They say greatly by state, by religion affiliation, by race, by sexual orientation, by occupation, and numbers of times one has been married. Okay, so
I wonder what so the more you get married and divorced, the higher probability.
That's actually a good one because I asked my friend the AI.
Yeah.
AI, not Allen Iverson, Jason. Don't get too excited.
Oh man, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so it says 40 to 50% of marriages end up in divorce in the USA. Okay, first marriage are closer to 41%. Second marriages are closer to around 60%. And third marriages, eres masoquista si te casas por la tercera vez.
Yeah,
you're a masochist. But the third time, if you didn't do it the second time, you might be doing it the third time. But it says the third time, it's closer to around 70%. Could you believe that? So the more times you've been married, the higher you get to get divorced. That's crazy. I thought it would be the opposite.
Well, what's crazy to me is the first is 40 to 50%. So already you're half of the first marriages end in divorce.
According in the USA. So, okay, but statistic wise, that's crazy. Those are crazy statistics.
That's wild because if somebody told you, are you willing to roll the dice, right, on life? And there's a 50% chance that you're going to lose half of your things and your kids and whatnot. You're going to take that risk?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. In a perfect life, I'm just kidding. I got over that. But you see that those statistics are scarier. You want to see the breakdown, the top 3 countries with divorce rates coming in at number 1 is China, 1,893,000. Number 2 is USA, with 1,106,670, and then Russia 685,910.
But I mean, is that statistic based off of because those are like the biggest countries, right? Russia, China, and the
Well,
U.S.
in the world. So that, I mean, I did a bit of research, like what are in the world, what countries in the world, but these are the powerhouses, so, like Japan has 257,470. 400, I'm sorry, let me read that again. Japan 257,000 for I mean 257,725. Sorry, I wrote an extra number. Germany has 190,928. And then in Latin America has the lowest rates. That's funny because I was thinking we'll be there, being up there high,
Yeah,
like in Latin America. Um,
you thought it was gonna be top three.
Yeah, like either any of Latin Americas be in the top, but to see China, Japan, Russia, I mean, I'm
Well, I
not
feel like
surprised.
their Latin America is probably like more old school too.
Yeah, so they didn't. I couldn't get that much of a good rate, but it says Peru for every 1,000 marriage, point 4 get divorced.
That's good. That seems like a
Your
good percent.
homeland, El Salvador, for every 1,000. This is per 1,000, right? Marriages that end in divorce, 0.41. Mexico 1.2.
Dang, they're way up there, huh?
Yeah, and Guatemala it's 0.05. But and then according to the statistics, the highest divorce rates are Cuba, Costa Rica, Brazil, and Mexico. So that's the order number 1 and 5.
Damn,
That's
be careful
crazy.
out there.
Yeah, I could see why Brazil. No, I'm just kidding. Gets divorced. Muchos carnavales.
Yeah, too much partying.
So yeah, that's crazy. Divorce is, I think, a tricky subject. I think no matter I think the people that get more affected when you go through divorce are your kids, no matter how old you are or how old you think or how mature or you're ready for it. And believe me, that divorces are hard. Like I tell you, my dad went to get milk y nunca regresó.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. But
that's
anyways,
that's tough. Yeah. Well, I guess what's your take on that? I know that you have been divorced once.
never. I am perfect, Jason.
Oh yeah, John. I forgot Johnny's living his perfect life.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, and I've been divorced. It wasn't easy. It was a traumatic experience for me. But it has taught me a lot of things and what not to do and what to do. But that's crazy that those statistics that we saw, that I thought that the more marriages you had, the better you had chances of staying
Yeah, maybe you'd
together.
figure it out more. Like
Yeah,
get
that's what I thought. Well, maybe because I think in a Latino culture, again, and a Hispanic, well, Latino culture, it's crazier because I think no matter what, sometimes they stick around for thick or thin,
yeah, that's true.
or it's cheaper to live together than, because it's. I mean, we Latinos, I see that most of us, well, my generation before me, because the newer generation, I think they're getting their shit kind of together with getting married and having kids. You notice that?
Yeah,
But I think it's like people stay together for convenience,
yeah. I think there's a lot
or,
of relationships that do that.
or they just stay together because of the kids. I think that's the sad part, is that the kids are the ones that always pay the prices. You know,
I watched this TikTok the other day. Do you know who Dr. John Deloney is?
I might. I told you I'm bad with names. You had
He's
to bring a picture album for me,
he
Jason, so I
well,
could. Oh, I know that
I'll
guy.
send it to you. But he's a podcaster, and he had this clip. I seen this clip where he was talking about that like 95% of marriages could be like fixed and saved if two people are willing to work on it. The only stipulation was like domestic violence. Like if it gets physical, then that's like that 5% that can't be fixed.
Yeah, yeah. You want to hear the top 10 reasons for divorce?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
Let's do top five. Let's maybe.
well, 10, because you'll be surprised. 10 is a
Okay.
good number. I
All right.
won't. We won't deviate, but top um top 10, starting at number 10, cultures and religion differences. Number 9 is I can't even say it, irreconcilable differences. Number 8, unrealistic expectations. Number 7, communication problems. Number 6, marrying too young. Number 5, which I thought that would be top 3, domestic violence. Number 4, substance and addiction abuse. Number 3, lack of commitment. And this is the one that I thought would be number 1, but it surprised me. Number 2, infidelity. And number 1, financial issues. I think number 1 and number 2 could intertwine. They could change. What do you
Yeah.
think about those top 10s?
I mean, it makes sense. I
Which one
think
touched
like
that?
cultural and religious differences. I feel like can't you figure that out before you get married?
You could, but sometimes people want to try that different culture. I see here a lot in
Unless
Utah. I
unless
see a lot of
somebody switches culture in the middle of the marriage.
yeah, but that's hard to say. But I see it
That's
more here in Utah. That's crazy because a lot of missionaries go to like other countries and they fall in love and then go and like
they bring a souvenir.
they not no they can't bring a souvenir, but they'll come back and finish their mission, come home, and then travel back abroad wherever they were. And like the people that they were preaching to, they'll go and pursue them, and
Right.
then marry them, bring them here. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out. I know a couple of people that got married with ex-missionaries or with people, and it just didn't work out. Unless you're serving, I think it will help you only if you're serving the mission in your own home country.
Yeah, that's true. And I think religion, like a lot of those, right? Like religious differences. You also said marrying too young.
Yeah, I should know that one. That one.
I just think
I
that
own up to that one.
I just think that religion, since there's a lot of like stipulations in religion, sometimes it forces people to get married too quickly or too young in order to like, do the married stuff.
No, that's crazy. You know how? Yeah, that's crazy about religious and cultural stuff. I was, how I was a manager and I was working with a lot of Afghan refugees. And I always get interested in different cultures and different ways. I mean, even though we have like a little bit of a language barrier, I was asking them, and I'm like, we were talking about marriages, and he said that there's still arranged marriages, and like, oh, that you still practice that. Well, they're still a little bit old school. And he said, yeah, and then like these arranged marriages, and this is how it ended. That conversation. I just kind of, it ended like this. He goes, yeah, that there's still arranged marriages, and the person that's being arranged, like the female, if the male of the other family decides to go see what kind of bride she's gonna have or wife, future wife, the wife's family or the bride's family are entitled to kill them. And I was
Hold
like,
on. To kill the dude?
yeah, for going and spying on to see who his future wife was gonna be.
So he can't see. It has to be like a blind.
It's a blind marriage. It's an arranged marriage. They cannot. Sometimes they don't know who's the wife's gonna be, and if they don't, I mean, like I said, if they want to be curious and try to even meet her or see her before the marriage, they're and I was like, what? I'm like, am I hearing this right? I even used Google Translate to make sure that I was hearing. And he's like, yeah, they could definitely, they could kill you. They're entitled to kill you. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. That's
And then
rough.
they had to marry young. Like, I think if they're not married by 26, they stay single.
Game over.
Yeah, and that's what I would always joke around with my friends. I would say like, hey, you passed your prime. I always tell my friends once they turn 26, they expire. But I was just
I
me
feel like
being a dick.
even 26 seems like really young to get married. Now, like that, looking back at it.
Yeah, but before like the older back in the days,
You didn't live to be 80 or 90, right?
100 like me.
Yeah. Johnny's 101, by the way. It's his birthday today.
That's right. That's right. 102. Get it right, Jason.
Oh, my bad.
I was 101
Oh,
last year.
Leap year.
Yeah, that's right. But anyways, that's crazy because before they used to get married in the teens, 12, 13, 14s.
So
One of
what-
the statistics out here, they were saying that a young marriage, the marriage rate was started at 12. Do you believe that? Imagine getting married at 12 years old.
Oh, that's got to be miserable.
Oh, shoot. But then again, that life expectancy wasn't all that great.
Yeah. And then that's one thing, too, is like it's their reality, right? So if they're everybody else, if their mom and whatever got married at 12, then that's their reality and that's their culture. So it's probably not that big of an issue for them.
Yeah, and then that's another perfect save. Like, imagine getting married young, getting married, and then going through the divorce, and then the next thing that follows up with it is the child support.
Imagine getting married at 12. At what age do you think you would get a divorce?
It depends on your culture because some people get married at 12 and they last forever, you know.
Yeah,
But some cultures, that's, I mean, I wouldn't know. I mean, I myself got married when I was 16 and a half, 17.
I didn't know you were that young.
Yeah, well, I started young. I started my
Barely had a driver's license and you're already getting married?
Yeah, well, I got married at 17. At 17 because my
That
daughter
was
was
rough.
born and my ex-wife was
So
18. She was a year older than me.
so did you get married because you wanted to, or did you get married because you knocked up your ex?
And it was a both. I wanted to get married, plus I wanted to be responsible and get her on my health insurance.
Oh, that makes sense. That's a good reason why. Just kidding. People don't get married.
No, no, but I mean, it was just different times, different circumstances of life. Everything just fell into place and it felt right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know, it's tough like and difficult because I think like we all would want to I think everybody wants to like meet the one, right? And get married
In a
and
perfect life. No, I'm just
right.
kidding.
But more than likely it's not going to be perfect and there's going to be issues and it's like a difficult decision to make, right? In regards to marriage. Like I always think I would want to get married someday with the right person. What does that mean? I don't know because the right person could seem like the right person one second.
I think you have a mole infestation here, Jason. I'm just kidding.
Oh, because we're both over here choking. You could meet a person, right? And it seems like the perfect person, but then we've all had people, I'm sure everybody has, like people switch up from like a light switch, right? And so what if you're married and then you find out that your wife or husband is like a serial killer or something?
Dang, that's crazy. Oh, damn, you're going to extreme. I guess we always had that conversation that I guess we get too complacent, lack of communication. The things that it says here. One of the things I could relate to. Communication problems. You know, communication, knowing how to put boundaries. Um, but I think the bigger issue is it's like they said. Um, I think the two when you start losing that lack of commitment, that commitment, you start, that relationship that you sign up for, because marriage it's a two-way street, right? It's a partnership, right? And if
Right.
only one partner is willing to work at that to getting better, and the other one isn't, and then they always, you have to um take full content, be fully responsible of your actions, but like I said, and then at the end, the ones that pay the price here are the kids, the children. But does it mean that you have to stay in that marriage for your kids? Because the kids end up growing up and leaving flying the nest. But it's crazy. Do you want to hear the states that have the highest child support? So do not get divorced there, or bring
Yeah,
them to
sure.
different. Like it says, number one is number one. No, well, number five is Hawaii. Number four, Rhode Island. I wouldn't imagine Rhode Island. And then number three, New Hampshire. Number two, Nevada. And number one, Massachusetts. I thought California was going to be up there because when I went through my bad divorce, I was living in California and it was hell that I never want to. It was hell on earth. And then California is actually ranked. Um, Wait, I have it here. California is actually ranked like number. Sorry, I can't even see it. California's ranked. That I wrote it down. Well, anyway, so you know what's the worst states that don't enforce child support laws or are hard, to impose it? Louisiana and Tennessee. But all states have a child support agency, so you cannot run away. Like if you try to hide, they'll find you. You can't hide with that. I mean, I seen stories, dude, working in finances of people um, getting garnished after so many years, or people potentially getting garnished because they had a common last name and they how you call it, they will garnish their money That's crazy, dude. I mean, this is just, and then one thing that too that kind of um drives me kind of upset. Uh, the child support models, the way that they figure it out and everything, and the laws, I still feel they're a little bit out to date. I think that there has been a revision for a long time, and they need to start revising kind of stuff. The only thing that I liked about the only thing that I liked about, how you call it, what Trump said was about, the child support law that he was gonna make. Like, if any person that claims child support, the the parent that's paying the child support was gonna have to be able to claim the dependents and have a write off, which that would have been awesome. Have you ever had any bad experience or anybody that had child support?
Um, no, not that I can think of, but I think obviously, I think it's good for like parents, and I want to say parents because it's either man or woman that isn't present in their kid's life. But I always think like having the kids having both parents is always going to be the best option rather than just cutting a check.
Yeah, and then I mean, I wrote it down on another piece of paper, but I know Utah was ahead of California. I think California was like in the 33rd, and Utah was like in the 25, 27. I was like kind of surprised. I thought California was going to be like the top three.
Yeah.
But
Um,
for my case, sorry to cut you off. In my case with child support, dude, it had cost me promotions. I mean, I never tried to be a deadbeat dad. I was actually participated, but it has caused me. It's just hard. It was headaches, heartaches, um, bank fees. Oh, I used to hate it when I was still. It was funny because I was, and one thing that they always say, deadbeat parents. And it's mostly attached to the dad or fathers there that don't want to participate on their kid's life.
right.
I was participating. I was, I was very compliant because one thing that you never want to mess around is with child support or the IRS. But it was funny because I was compliant. I was living not even paycheck to paycheck. It was worse than living to paycheck to paycheck. But they would get me audited at my bank, seeing that if I had any kind of savings, like if I had more than $2,000 put away or any kind of money saved up, it's like you're taking all the money that I already make. What else money could I save up? Like, and it was funny because every time they'll do that, and they'll do it like randomly, once a month, every 2 weeks, every 3 months, and every time they did that, the bank that I was banking with, they'll send me a bill for like $250 because they had to uh use their legal teams, and so they could make sure that they're compliant. It used to piss me off. So now the little bit of money that I had was gone. Can you believe that stuff?
That's tough, and I'm sure there's people that are currently dealing with that. So I think just focus on what you can control. I know there's situations that aren't ideal, but I think it could always be worse too.
It is. I mean, I could see it, but it's funny. I never in my life have I heard like a man or anything say, "Hey, you know what? My ex-wife's late on my child support payment." That'll be a one-off. You know,
Yeah.
if
I,
any man out there ever received child support, I want to hear your side of the story, and I want to hear how you did it.
well, I mean, I think that it's probably like worst case scenario, right? Maybe the mom is up to no good. Like for a mom to like leave her kids.
But you'll still be surprised, dude. Like I see it both ways. I seen it with parents getting that child support and their kids still living a bad life. You know what I'm saying? Or deviating because supposedly they don't have enough money, but the mom's blowing out the money.
Yeah, I think for me, like overall, the most important thing is like the time and the kids being able to experience both parents, regardless of what side it's on. I think that child support, sure, if the parent isn't present or isn't doing their part to be in the kid's life, then sure, you can put child support. But other than that, even if you dislike each other, they're still their kids, and having them be in their lives is probably the best outcome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's crazy. Like I had a really bad experience, and like I said, I don't wish it upon anybody. I take ownership of what I did. I know what I did to cost my marriage, and one thing that I do tell women, and I mean most women try to do this, is don't use the kids as one of your weapons or against the father. You don't know. I know you guys gave birth to them, but it took two to make them. You know, be conscientious that their kids need their dad in their life, you know? And like I said, I take ownership of the stuff that I did. I never ran away from child support, but I felt that some of those were unjust. You know, dude, I could be making like $1 million a month and they'll leave me with $50. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy how sometimes it's just so unjust.
Yeah, it's tough.
And like I said, and now that's a perfect segue, you know, because I know your subject. Like I said, I take ownership on some of the stuff that I did, but I know you wanted to talk about extreme ownership.
Yeah,
Could you explain that a little bit?
I seen my subject that I wanted to touch on was extreme ownership. I seen this video with Jocko Willink, and he was talking about something that you can do that's really difficult is looking at your life and having extreme ownership in everything that happens in your life, all the good and all the bad. And it's easy to like blame these things, right, on your childhood or your ex or whatever. You can blame all these issues that you have on things outwardly, but he was talking about taking extreme ownership of your life. He's like, it's something that's really difficult and people don't like to do, but just looking at your life and everything, every place that you're at, like whether it's financially, physically, in any aspect, looking at that and then asking yourself, like, what did I do to get here? And I think like he said, it's something difficult, but I think that it's something that could really be eye opening if you're willing to take that step and hold yourself accountable with whatever it is, whether, like I said, financially, wherever you're at, if it's the job you're at or the car you drive, you made decisions that put you in that place. And so take a moment, own that, and then change it. If it's not where you want to be, what can you do today? What can you do right now to make those changes? And whether, it's your job and looking for a different job, or it's your car and you're going to start building your credit so you can get a decent car, like all you can do is face that, have that difficult conversation with yourself, and then take some action to change. What do you think about that?
No, that is true. Like I said, for every action, there's a reaction. You know, so yeah, I mean, like I said, life, the school of life has taught me a lot of stuff, has teach me a lot of stuff. Growing up into now, I learn stuff every day, and yeah, it is so true. You know, anything that you do excessively or anything brings consequences, right? That's why I'm more of a homebody because I'm afraid of going out. You know, I still live in my mom's basement. But anyways, but you do because I mean, there's a lot of people that play that blame game, you know, or like me that I try to victimizing, but but again, you have to choose and pick your battles too. You know what I'm saying? Because there is some people out there that um career wise, if you're working at a good on a job or something, there's always somebody that's there envious and tries to sabotage, you know? So you have to be very careful and learn how to play your cards
I
right.
wouldn't say always.
Well, you should be surprised. You should be surprised. I mean, I think you experienced that just recently, right? Kind of with one of your coworkers. That's one of the reasons, and it's part of I think one of my traumas is that my ethics, and I take ownership for this. I try not to be a show off, but I'm very loyal. So if you give me the opportunity, I'm gonna produce. I'm gonna do the best it is for that place that I am, as long as I'm happy, right? But if I'm not happy, then I'll just walk away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that there's people like that out there, but I try not to focus on that. I have like with my job, I have people that work with me that I enjoy working with, and then I am aware that there's people, that maybe don't have the best attitude or the best energy or the best intentions, but I tend to not focus on that. I don't really focus on those people.
Well, you see how I am. I try to get along with everybody, and I try not to point fingers. What if, or what if, or go back. But I'm not a yes person, and some people, you have people that sometimes hold your career in their hands, right? And I don't like to brown nose. I mean, you know me, I'm a straightforward person. I call it like it is. So that's what I'm saying. You know, some, but that's the thing. Taking extreme ownership is what I mean. I see it where you have to say, what could I do different? What did I do wrong? What could I, I even ask questions. Like to my old bosses, like, hey, was I ever a show off? And she's like, no. More, I'll be like, be honest. Or sometimes when they had meetings, sales meetings, and I was not included on the sales meetings, and I'll be like kind of scared, like, what did I do? And then they'll come back to me and say, look, you know what? Uh, you don't want to be in that meeting. Why? Because you're meeting your numbers. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
this is a discipline meeting. And I was like, don't leave me out. Discipline me too. No matter if I'm not doing wrong, because I just didn't want to be like the odd man out. You know what I mean? Or just kind of get labeled like a preference. But like I said, your action speaks for yourself. What you do is what you get.
Yeah, and I think putting yourself in a position where wherever you're at, to where um the company can't afford to get rid of you. And I feel like for me, like I have another job outside of my business, and I really feel like, I could be wrong, but I do so much that I feel like they would suffer if I wasn't there.
Yeah, but remember, for every company, we're just a number, and
That's true.
we're replaceable, so we're expendables. So, like, remember, you could die tomorrow, and they already have the manager, coming in working for you already in a couple of days. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
I don't know what's up with the negativity today, dude.
No, no, I'm not being negative. I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real.
It's true.
I mean, I'm not trying to be negative. Like I said, I own up for a lot of stuff. Like like when my first back injury, um, I was staying under the radar. I wasn't working in the field that I like. I took a sabbatical and I was working, doing custom um cabinets cuts, the raw material. And like if I didn't make that choice, maybe if I was just working in the field that I'm good at in finance, I probably the worst injury I could have got was like paper cuts or staple my fingers together. But I decided to do something, a little bit harder, and it cost me an injury. But I owned up to it and I learned how to live with it. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like I setting boundaries, like if that day, I mean, my car accident too, I couldn't blame like, oh, because I had to take you to work or this and that. Life happens, right? So you have to be accountable. I couldn't blame my wife. I couldn't blame the mechanic. Oh, because the mechanic didn't fix your car on time. You know, I wouldn't have this accident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, regardless whether you're there or not, stuff is going to happen. There's no way we can prevent these things from happening in life. So it's kind of not pointless to be like, "Oh, this happened because of A, B, and C." However, um, you know, holding yourself accountable, I think, is important based off of like, whatever decisions you're making. Whether you chose to take that road or took a left instead of a right. Um, I don't know. With work too, I think that you said, I agree with what you said, that we're just a number, right? At your employer. But if you offer, they're paying you X amount of money. If you offer that amount worth, you're going to stick around. They're going to keep you around. I think it's the people that go to work and try to do the bare minimum and they're paying you X amount of money and you're not doing X amount of money work is when it becomes an issue. And they're like, well, we're paying this dude this much for him to come
Not doing anything.
and not do anything. So why keep him around? And this isn't always the case, but I think that the majority of the time, like I said, when I get into a job, I try to like do the best that I can, right? And like I said, I put myself in positions with like the last several jobs that I had where I feel like that was going to be difficult for them to replace me.
Right. No, no. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's perception is key too. It's how you present yourself and people perceive you. One of the, have you ever read the Four Agreements
Yeah.
and how this says that people are fast to judge based on other people's um influence on other people talking about you, and you already are prejudging or you're predetermining how you're gonna like or dislike that person.
Right.
And this is it's not good. Like I always try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Like I would always give you a chance. Being in working with sales, customer service for over 20 years has helped me read people, and I could sometimes see right through them. I never brown nose. And you seen, we work together, so you've seen us. We've been in the top, we've been in the bottom, you know. And like I said, it's just you have to be very, very careful. But like you said, um, owning up to it is the best part that you could do, because then that gives you closure. You know what I'm saying? Because if you start dwelling in the past and start saying, "Oh, why did I do this?" or "Why do that?" But a lot of people give up. Give up. Like I seen it. I seen it at work, and I get. Remember, I told you I used to be a freedom fighter,
Right.
and I stopped. Because you could take ownership and see, like, I never thought of myself as a yes person. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're like, "Oh, go get me coffee." Yes, I will right now. I'll be like, "Get your own damn coffee." I'm here to work, not here to get coffee. You know what I'm saying? Um, so again, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't no don't own up to their like complaining. They're complaining about the boss, or they're complaining about the schedule. They're complaining about they want to switch teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
And
either you do the job or you can start looking for something else
right,
too.
but
Nobody's forcing you to be there.
exactly. But then other people are like, "Oh, it'll be awesome if I'm in your team." And then, and like, go ahead and you ask for that transfer. I can't go as a manager. I cannot go ask for that transfer. Some people don't like taking that ownership. You know what I'm saying?
Like they want everything to be done for them.
Exactly. And if you go living in life or take that extra leap, you always have to take a leap of faith, and hopefully something comes out of it, or some kind of experience. I always find that if you do something, there's going to be an experience, and
A lesson.
a lesson or an
Yeah.
experience. Um, and that's what I said. I own up for a lot of mistakes that I made on my life. I think I'll be happy, uh, and especially now, like I said, with my mental health and everything that I realized. Like you see, I before I didn't own up to my depression or anxiety, but now I do own up to it, and I'm seeking, help. So like I said, I see what he means about that. I mean, that's a good, again, what was that video that you sent?
Jocko Willing, the
Jocko
guy.
Willie, yeah, the guy talking about extreme ownership. Yeah, I like that little short that I saw.
Yeah. I think it's good information and it's a good way. Like I said, if you're willing to be honest with yourself and you're willing to take a look at your life and what's not working, and don't blame anybody else but yourself as to why you're there. It's a difficult conversation to have with yourself, but if you really want to change, if you really want to move forward, it's something that you have to do.
It's funny because I even took ownership. You know how, in the eyes of your parents or your mom, you're like a saint, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I took ownership with my mom, and I told her, I go, "Mom, do not ever, ever in your life ever put your hands on fire for me, because I'm not that kind of son that you think I am." Um, because I owned up to a lot of stuff that I didn't do right. And
Yeah.
like I said, and I don't make excuses, but I know the consequences that are gonna lead you to.
But that's just life. We're gonna make mistakes. If your expectation for your kids or anybody in your life is different than that, then I feel like you're living in a fantasy land. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna hurt people. We're gonna make decisions that we shouldn't have. But I think it's all part of the learning process, and you got to give yourself some grace and forgiveness for the things that you've experienced or that you've done or that have been done to you that you perceive as negative.
Yeah, you know what? I could say that in my life, I had closures in so many cases that should have left me scarred. I mean, they did leave me scars and they left me experience, but I managed to, get closure in so many things. And I think getting closure is a big key to it. And, finding a way to get it, indirectly or indirectly or,
Directly or
yeah,
indirectly.
sorry, directly or indirect,
Yeah, we get what
directly,
you're saying. We
indirectly.
got it. We got it.
Sorry. I'm just
We got it.
tired. But anyways.
Yeah, do you want to switch over to the next topic we wanted to talk about today?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just gonna talk and yeah, keep it simple and nice. What was the last movie, comedy, stand up, anything entertaining that you have seen or done?
Like live or just on TV?
Anything in general. Like what's the like
I
the
w-
last movie that I went to see? I'm sorry, like I went to see Captain America with my daughter. The Captain America, the New World.
you think it was good?
It was awesome. Oh, I'm a nerd when it comes to superhero stuff. Yeah, I told you already.
I seen Andrew Schultz stand up on Netflix. That
Nice.
one's pretty funny. And then Felipe Esparza's stand up on Netflix is gold.
Oh yeah, and talking about Felipe Esparza, dude. Did I told you right? Shout out to Felipe. That's pretty cool. Have you seen his What's Up full podcast?
What's up, boo? Yeah.
That one's funny too. And then him um Rodrigo Torres, he started following me. I just like one of his stuff. That's pretty cool. He started liking our stuff,
That's cool.
following us. I mean, that was pretty cool. And then Carlo Oscar también. Um, it was what? Yeah, it was Carlos Oscar. That he lost his house on the fire in L.A.
Oh,
He
dang.
Yeah, so he has a GoFundMe. Um, he followed back, so that's pretty cool. And that's the guy that hangs out with Felipe. The other guy that hangs out with him, but he hasn't followed back, is Felipe or Martin Rizzo. Do you know who Martin Rizzo is? He's the younger one.
I don't think so.
He's funny too.
He's on the podcast too, right?
Yeah, he's in the podcast, but he has a lot of shorts too, and he imitates Ice,
Oh, really?
like his Hispanic ICE agent. But people misunderstood him. He was making fun of them, like, how could you be Mexican but be racist and especially work for ICE? Like,
That's a tough. Like, do you think that is somebody Hispanic working for ICE or working for Border Patrol? Does that make them racist?
well, it depends their background, right? If they're like fifth, sixth, well, no, because if you have that Mexican descent, you know that at one point in your timeline or your lineage, you know, your ancestors had to cross over. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but
So that means that they came from an immigrant family. Yes, I me and you are getting a touchy feelings with the immigrations that's going on,
right.
but
I just think people are labeled racist for doing a job. What if a cop, whatever race, were to pull somebody over that's the same race as him and he arrests them for doing a crime? Does that make that person racist or is he simply doing his job?
you see statistically why. I mean, in the past, now I mean it's having a little bit more diversity, right? Um, there's more inclusion, but they're trying to get rid of the EI, and the majority of cops, a majority people that working in military, law enforcement, and everything were predominantly white, and so I mean it's normal for people that are white and everything to want to get rid of the Hispanics, but it's different when you come from a Hispanic family. You go into that job. I get it. It's a necessity if it pays your bills and stuff like that. But
So would you ever be ICE? What if ICE wanted to cut you a check for a couple $100,000 a year
oh
to
hell
go?
yeah, I'll work
Oh,
for it.
see,
No,
you
but no,
racist
no,
bastard.
but I won't deport my people. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just hard. Well, it's funny because here in Utah, this is crazy. I think they're stop doing it because there's a lot of bad people coming in. But you know how here in Utah, you see a lot of cop cars in their driveways, outside their streets, and they bring their cruisers home.
Right.
You can't do that in California. I mean, I heard stories, I seen stories in the news that when people, they become cops and they go back to their hood, they get killed. There's certain jobs as being Hispanic that I think working for unless you're working for immigration and doing something positive to help your people become legalized, that's positive. But when you're trying to work for like ICE to throw out people, it kind of gets.
I just feel like, I mean, I know it's a gray area, but they're doing a job and I'm sure there's good people
Mhm.
that ICE is picking up. And that's unfortunate, right? But there's also murderers and rapists that they're picking up. And so you're saying that somebody, because they're Hispanic, because they're Latino, they can't get a job to help clean up their communities and help potentially their own people not get murdered or
No,
raped.
and that point I do agree. Like I'm saying, but like,
So I just feel like
look,
you're
what I don't agree is like if you're gonna like that the joke that he said was this is the joke he used. He goes, "Oh, he's acting like an ICE agent. He's with his partner that or his partner's like or someone that's Hispanic, but he's all like, I don't know which job to go get him because this guy works 3 jobs, so I don't know from which job am I gonna, he's being funny, and the guy's telling him, whoa, ain't he a hardworking Mexicano? Like, why are you gonna go and deport him? Like if you start deporting the people that are here doing okay, working, contributing to society, because most of these people that have the I-10 numbers and I'm talking about my Mexican friends and brethren, that are they have it hard, but they get their I-10 numbers and they pay taxes and everything like that, and they haven't broken the law and they're law-abiding citizens. Don't go after them. You know what I'm saying? But if you're like the criminals, the crooks, I get it, or the people that are just coming in and freeloading and living a life. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I get what you're saying. I
But
like I
anyways,
said,
we're going.
get your paper if you want to go get a job at ICE or wherever. Go
Oh
get it.
yeah, I don't mind. I mean, once they start putting bounties, that's gonna be my side hustle. I'm just waiting for the bounties.
Yeah, see, Johnny switches up. He's a freedom fighter, but he switches up real quick when you put a little bit of cash in front of him.
No, no, I just want to get to use my guns. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just playing. But anyways, what was the last concert that you saw or went
Dude,
to?
I haven't been in a concert in so long. I want to say like the last concert I went to was Larry June a few years ago.
Who's Larry June? Is he new? Like,
Yeah, I mean he's like fairly new,
yeah, you see, don't.
but
That's cool. Did you like it?
uh, yeah. But I got reminded why I don't like going to concerts.
Well,
I don't
yeah.
like being around a bunch of people.
Don't go to cheap concerts. I don't go to cheap concerts no more. I used to hate those concerts. Remember those concerts in Caramba and like 12,
Yeah, I
30.
never been to one of those.
Oh, damn, they suck. But anyways, um, last concert I've been to was Aventura. That's pretty cool. I like bachata, but that was pretty cool. How about you? Any last sporting events or anything that you've been to?
I went to a jazz game on Monday.
Oh, how was it? Against whom?
It was the Pistons. The jazz game was cool. It was a fun time.
Do you do you remember your first concert? Which one's like your first
Ah,
actual concert
dude,
that you?
I don't know if like I remember like a few early on, and it must have been like one of the summer jams. Remember, it was outside, like at the fairgrounds or something, and it was summertime, so it was super hot and it was packed. I don't know, and it wasn't great. I don't
My
remember, but I remember seeing like Ice Cube and Too Short, like those kind of people back then, and it was pretty cool.
I went my first concert that I remember. My first American concert that I ever went to was here in Utah. At the Rio Tinto, it was Kiss. That's
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, Kiss. Um, how about stand up? You said you went to Brian Shaw.
Oh, I've gone to Brendan Schaub stand up before. The one I went to, I think most recently, which was last year, was Ralph Barbosa.
Oh, I
That
know that's one of the guys that I want to go see.
that one was really good. One of his openers, and I like regret that I didn't get his name, was so funny that I would say he's almost funnier than Ralph. One of the openers.
Don't listen to him. Ralph is funny.
No, Ralph is hilarious, but I'm just saying,
He can't one up Ralph. Come on, you're gonna get that guy fired. He's lying. He's lying.
nah, fire him. He's good. Get him out of here.
You know which one's the last comedy, and it was one off my bucket list too.
Which one?
I went to see Adam Sandler when he came to Utah. Oh,
That's good.
dream come true because he's one of my favorite actors and comedian.
But was it good because it's good, or was it good because he's Adam Sandler?
No, it's good
Okay.
because he's good and it's Adam Sandler's. But no, he's great. Like he was very nice. Um, there was an interesting. I mean, I got okay seats. Um, so there was a lot of his homies, Rob Schneider, Kevin James, a lot of comics that went where we're not expecting them. And I had an interesting story what happened on that comedy event. I was sitting there, my daughter and her boyfriend. That's when I met my daughter's boyfriend and my wife. We all went to that comedy. I treated my kids, and we were enjoying because my daughter says she loves Adam Sandler because of me, and she says that I look like Adam Sandler. I guess for the huevo head, not that's about it. And she says that I'm
Maybe your
funny.
guys' style,
Yeah,
the way
and
you
my
guys
style,
dress.
yeah, and the style too. I'm down to earth, Jason. You know me. Yeah, exactly. She says the way you dress, the huevo head that you both have, because he always says he has an egg head. And that's what they tell me too. And then she says, "You're funny like him." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. You know, your kid's always gonna love you."
Yeah. My
I
kids love Adam Sandler too, though, like all the old school movies.
Right, right. But that interesting that day at that comedy, we were not. I wasn't expecting Kevin James, but they did it nice. We were right there watching, and then he's like, "Who's there in that audience? Who's there in that audience?" And then like they start focusing in, and he's right there, right, and like we're sitting on the stage right here, and he's just like right there, and it's like, is that Kevin? Hey, buddy. You know, he like makes this big show. So Kevin James gets up and we're like, everybody's like in shock. We, you know, we like, I took out my camera and took pictures right away. But then Kevin James starts drinking like everybody's beer. Unfortunately, I didn't have any beer, but I had a water, a water glass, you know, that I got water. But he was drinking, so I was like, he was running down the stage, like drinking people's and grabbing people's food and being funny. And I was like, no, don't do that. Don't drink that guy's beer. And suddenly, I stick out my cup of water,
Yeah.
and he gets it, and he drinks it. And then I thought he was, and then he noticed that it was water, so he pours it on his head and then he tosses the cup back to me, and then they started fighting for the cup, and I go, "That's my cup. I should have technically got it." But then my daughter and her boyfriend was like, "Oh my god," and my wife was like, "Oh my
Did you
god."
charge them the $10 it cost to get that water cup?
No, because I was happy to give it to him, but
I'm just
then
kidding.
yeah, no, I was happy to give it to him, but I
I'm
was
just
sad
saying
that
how ridiculous they charge at those
yeah,
places.
I know, but I was sad that I wasn't able to get the cup back. But it was funny because then I thought they were gonna make fun of me. It's like, who drinks water, you know? But he didn't mention the water. But at least he got my water cup. That was very interesting. And then I want to see Felipe Esparza live. I saw George Lopez and Fluffy live already, but
I
Felipe
think,
is one of them. David Chappelle. I know you went to David Chappelle.
yeah, I did. The Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan. Kevin Hart's coming too. I
But he's
think.
expensive.
No, I don't think they're that bad.
Are they?
I think
Well,
they're like 100, $200.
yeah, but good seats. I don't want to be
No, those
like,
are good, like pretty decent
I
seats.
don't want us nosebleeds and might as well stay home and watch until they come out in special.
That's true.
I got to see Morrissey from the Smiths. That's one of my bucket guys. I like um, alternative music.
Johnny's a rocker.
80s kind of stuff. Also, Morrissey's one. In California they have Morrissey's days. It's November the 10th. They made a day for him. That's how much people like. A lot of Hispanic people like him. I was surprised, especially La Raza. Mexicana. They love Morrissey. That's one guy that I went to see. One person I wish I was able to see in my whole life, but he's dead. It's the Doors, the Jim Morrison. Oh, that's my favorite rock band of all time.
You know who I went and see one time was Charlie Murphy at Wise Guys.
Oh,
That was a pretty cool experience.
yeah, I missed it. I missed a lot. I haven't. I think I've been to Wise Guy once, and
Oh,
that's it. But I need to start going.
yeah, it's pretty good.
And then the last one too. Let's see. Nope, that's about it. How about. You said the last concert was there. Any movies? Have you seen any movies lately?
Um, do you know the Gabby Petito documentary? Did you see that?
The one on Netflix?
Yeah.
I heard that most of it's the same thing that we already know that came out in the news.
I mean,
I
yeah.
feel bad for her though. She put Utah on the map, but on the wrong,
on the wrong map.
on the wrong, yeah, on the wrong way. But that's crazy. Is it good? Is that one good?
I feel like it was good. I like those like documentaries and stuff. I mean, like you said, a lot of that info we already knew, but getting it all put together into one show and you get to watch it is pretty good. What about you?
No, the last movie. Well, no, actually today I woke up with I fell asleep, um, and I woke up watching New Girl. That one's pretty cool.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's with Joy Denzel. I mean, she's the girl that came out on Elf. The Elf,
girlfriend?
yeah, the girlfriend. He had a show that she roommates with three other dudes. I was just barely stuck on season
good?
one. Yeah, it was funny. It's just
I have to
she's
check it out.
hella funny.
Is
And
it
she's
like a
pretty.
chick flick?
No, it's more of like it's a
Cover.
mix. It's a mix, but that one's pretty cool. Have you ever gone to any Spanish concerts?
Nah, man, I'm not going to concerts, let alone Spanish concerts.
Really?
Yeah, nah, especially. Well, I don't know. I won't get into it.
Why? Give me a good reason. I went to see Lupillo Rivera when he was barely coming up, and when I was working at the bank, when he was barely coming down, he used to go to the bank I used to work for because there was well, back then they call it well, this not even jaripeo, rodeos.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
like rodeos, but I think I don't listen to much Spanish music.
to the Spanish music, te da el corazón, especially when you go through like any kind of breakup or you're sentimental. Those music, man, it's good, you know. How about I went to that one. I wanted to go see Vicente Fernandez, pero no se me hizo. He retired and he passed away. And then I was gonna go see Juan Gravier when he was coming to Utah. And then the month and a half, 2 months before he came to Utah, he passed away, and I was so pissed.
Damn, ruined that for you, huh?
Yeah, because I like Juan Gravier too. Juan Gravier was the shit.
Really quick, I wanted to, if you're done with that, we could switch over, and I wanted to go over to some comments
Oh yeah,
from the last
definitely. That's
video.
a good segue. Yeah.
Um, on YouTube, we got a comment from Dino Mike. He said, "Speaking facts, Jason. The first 5 minutes, I can relate. I'm proud of you too, man." So appreciate the comment. We appreciate you guys watching and listening to the videos. And if you have any like comments or if there's any subjects that you think that me and Johnny should touch on, just comment on the video or Instagram, YouTube, wherever, or even send us a DM so that we can kind of go over. I kind of want to like see if there's subjects that people want us to touch on. I think it'd be cool to kind of, I want to build like a community of people that we get to like,
Bring on the show as well.
yeah, bring on the show. But also, if you don't want to come on the show and you just say, hey, like, what about like, this? And they
Yeah,
can,
yeah. We'll
and they can,
definitely do the research and talk about it. That's the platform, because a lot of people, like I said, they didn't want to talk about child support. But anyways, what else does he comment said?
Alex on YouTube, Alex H8G7T said, another amazing podcast video. Those high school chicken sandwiches were bomb. Always my first choice when it came to school lunch. Dude, the chicken sandwiches, fire. Not so much the pizza. Nobody commented about the pizza. Let's see, it says what I think about when talking. Oh, this is when we were talking about collecting, and like I said, it could be due to trauma, like childhood trauma. And I use trauma loosely, right? Like it was like stuff that we wanted when we were kids that we didn't get.
I think you're like, that's trauma. That's
Yeah, I mean,
trauma.
I think
Hey, I got a splinter. That's trauma. No, I was
if you
kidding.
look at life like that and think that like we're able to see why we act certain ways or
Well, there's
react.
there's a reason why. But exactly, what did he say?
He said, I like collecting Hot Wheels because I used to have them when I was a kid, so it just makes me happy to still be able to collect them. But I also know somebody who collects Hot Wheels on a huge scale because they didn't have any money to buy toys when they were little. So I think like, collecting and having different things, maybe like for some people it's like nostalgic and they get to like relive those. Some people it might be traumas where like they weren't able to have A, B, and C. So now that they're older or have money or successful, they can buy whatever they want.
Yes, I think I read in that comment that he dropped like 500 grand or $5,000
Yeah.
on one Hot Wheel. Yeah, I see people get crazy for Hot Wheels. I was not really into Hot Wheels, but my thing was action figures.
Yeah.
Like I said, He-Man, Voltron. I think I commented on one of them. You guys don't remember Voltron.
I think you did. I don't think I seen it, but I remember. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I appreciate people leaving comments, giving us the opportunity, at least to hear us for a couple minutes. If you could spread the word. And like Jason said, if anything you want to talk about or want us to talk about, let us know.
Yeah, I think we're open, and that's why I kind of want to read these comments because
Go
I
ahead.
think that people are taking their time to comment. Let's read them and like get their perspective. I mean, we've already seen them, but
Yeah.
get their perspective. Creating new fonts on Instagram as my boy. He
Love
said,
your drawings, by the way. Sorry.
yeah, Johnny's a fan of your art. He says, I think it depends on the collection. I like collecting anything that has to do with the 90s. It brings back good memories of playing with my cousins and having sleepovers, watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and
Love
eating
the
pizza.
Turtles.
Just enjoying the good times as a kid. Dude, the Turtles were something else, huh?
Oh, I collect. That's part of my collection, Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I feel like
I got the turtles. You saw COD has the turtles, so I just ended up
Yeah.
buying Michelangelo. and Donatello. I mean, not Donatello, Leonardo. Anyways, go
We
ahead.
did get the skins on Call of Duty like we're little kids.
He
Ninja
might have
Turtles
some
for me,
trauma. No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
probably. Ninja Turtles for me, like the movies when they came out were lit, and like Power Rangers too. I remember the Red Ranger was named Jason, dude.
Oh yeah,
So I
yeah.
was like all over that.
I think it was
And
a
then I
little
was
bit.
in love with Kimberly.
Oh, I think Power Rangers already had a baby. That was playing Power Dad.
Yeah, Johnny was watching Power Rangers with his kids.
Right.
Um,
Dragon Ball
also,
Z. You don't know nothing about Dragon Ball Z.
yeah, I watched some of it, but it's hard. On Instagram, 801 Mikey. I happen to know that's my little brother, but he says, for me, collecting things is nostalgic. I collect Funko Pops of different shows I've watched from my childhood and up into my adult years that resonate with me in some way. But I think it's nostalgia that us humans like to keep a hold of. It could be shoes, toys, photos, records, foods, or places that we like to visit for memories or the feeling it gives us. So that's a good take too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, when I started collecting it, it's just my happy place. You know how
Maybe
Happy
it's just my trauma. Maybe
Happy
I'm the only
Gilmore.
one that's traumatized here.
Well, you were three boys. I guess that's a little bit hard. I think it's. I don't know I don't know, but I think boys are cheaper than girls.
I just think that, like, for me, you know how I think of life when I do things or I think things. I like to assess of where it's coming from. Like I look at my life in a way of like, okay, like why do you like this or why do you dislike this or why do you act this way when this happens? And so I dissect life as trying to get to like the root of it. And for me, like when I sit here and I like see these different shoes, like even the Kobe's. One thing I was thinking about is like the Kobe's, right? The Adidas.
I have them.
No, but the Adidas Kobe's from back in the day.
Yeah, I have them. I bought the new re-release.
You gonna tell me those shoes look good?
No, but they're just Kobe's.
Exactly.
I had them. Yeah,
so-
of course. But I like you know I love Kobe, so I have all the Kobe's. I actually had some Kobe's that I was surprised that were worth money, but they were used. So I was like, oh,
That's what I'm saying is for me the biggest one that like popped in my head was the AIs.
the
That I
Kobe's RoboCop ones.
Yeah, the Kobe's RoboCop ones. I remember we were talking about that. I wanted to buy them too, just because for like the nostalgia factor. But I'm like, they're hideous. I'm never gonna wear them. So why am I gonna buy them?
I'm wearing them right now. I'm just kidding.
Nah,
I was gonna wear them when we played basketball, but then there goes my basketball career. I had to retire too.
no NBA for Johnny.
No more NBA. No more 1-on-1 with Jason.
Dang, game over.
And now that he's like super fit now, I want to
No,
play
I'm
him.
not super fit.
Yes,
but
you are. And don't
we're
lie.
getting there,
don't,
baby.
don't second guess yourself.
We're getting there.
Anyways, you're about there. That's why I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, bro.
And then what else? Any more comments?
No, I think that's all the comments that we had. Once again, comment any questions, any concerns. Oh, hold on, we got one more comment. Go ahead, Johnny.
Oh no, episode 2. I didn't get comments on episode 2. Or she still did.
No, nothing.
Oh, okay. At least we got some.
Shout out to the crickets that listen to the podcast.
Yeah, right. But at least anything else you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so. I think that we covered a lot of stuff today, different subjects. If, like I said, if there's a subject that you want us to cover, we want us to talk about, or even just some feedback, we'd greatly appreciate it. We need stuff to talk about. We'll read your comments on the podcast.
And I want you guys to vote on something too.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
What voice should Jason use next podcast?
No.
I'll call Jason. Let's do. Should he use voice number 1, which I love? Just talk to me, Jason.
Hello. Oh yeah.
Or voice number 2.
Voice number 2 is this one.
I think voice number 2.
No, voice number 2 it is.
You know, that'd be awesome. Okay,
All right,
so
put
take
me back to normal.
yeah, and then talk about voice number 1
Voice number 1. Oh yeah.
or voice number 2.
All right, voice number 2. All right, guys, thanks for
Listening.
All right, man. We're gonna end it like that, just with a little bit of a laughter. All right, Jay.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Follow us on Instagram. You could also listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and you could watch the video to see our beautiful mugs on YouTube. Remember to love yourself and keep doing you. Keep pushing forward.
And please, it's motorcycle season. Keep your eyes on the road for motorcycles.
Let's go.
Yeah, you guys could go. All right then. Take it easy. Peace.
Have a good one, guys.